The word ultimate gets thrown around, I think, a lot in Dragon Ball throughout its history, but we can look at examples like Ultimate Gohan, Ultimate Technique, Ultimate Form, yada yada yada. But if you've actually followed the series long enough, you realize that something in the word ultimate never really stays ultimate for long, right? And that's because Dragon Ball isn't really about reaching a true endpoint, right? It's about what happens when you get there and whether or not you still continue to climb because you should continue to climb. That's always really what Dragon Ball teaches at its core. So when we go to Dragon Ball Super, right, every new level of power was supposed to be the ceiling, like Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, so on and so forth, right? Akari, but Goku's power level keeps breaking those ceilings, the same as Vegeta's, and now Broly's in the mix, even Gohan, because none of these fighters are ever really satisfied with their static strength. For them, it's not just ultimate strength as a destination, but it's just a constant moving target that allows those four particular Saiyan warriors and some of the other characters in the series to continue to push their limits. I hate hearing, again, plot armor or this or that. You know, if the characters don't have a reason to fight, guys, yeah, they're probably going to be a bit static. But the Tournament of Power was a perfect reason, not an excuse, a perfect reason for every Earthling fighter that wasn't a Saiyan to get a legitimate power boost from just a little bit of enhanced training. Like, I get it that some of it seemed rushed and retcon, but like, come on, guys, it hadn't been in a real fight in quite a bit of time. Okay, Lord Beerus, but like, come on, that didn't count. Like, Beerus was, none of them were on Beerus's level, you know, with the exception of Goku and Vegeta for a short time. So like, that's my point. So when Goku finally gets to the point later in the series, passing, you know, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, he taps into Ultra Instinct himself. That's supposed to be Divine Mastery, right? The point where Ultra Instinct, Ultimate Instinct, and Awareness essentially become one. Well, even then, he's not really done, right? Because to Goku, having that ultimate power, it's not just about being calm in the midst of battle, it's about his freedom, right? The ability to move without thought, to act without hesitation, and to live without limits. That's all Goku's wanted as a martial artist. What really feels like probably the culmination of all of his life's journey is to be able to flow and to not have to think, right? Whis has constantly instructed him and Vegeta both, like, that is the ultimate level of their power, and to attain that in their base form will be easier and more beneficial to them in the long run, and we don't have to go through that again. So let's look at Vegeta with the same concept but in the opposite direction. Okay, Goku finds peace essentially through his flow state. That's what I'm talking about, right? Vegeta, on the other hand, he finds his power through his pride. I've talked about that in previous videos here within the last couple of weeks, especially tied to this Goku power-up series. For Vegeta here, his Ultra Ego form isn't just about balance, right? It's about embracing the damage, embracing the flaws of that technique, that form, and turning that into his fuel, right? Two completely different roads that still lead to the same mountain peak for both Goku and Vegeta as martial artists. And that's, to me, what makes Dragon Ball so different in Dragon Ball Super compared to, I think, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball. It's that the story, of course, really stopped being about who was per se quote-unquote stronger. It really became about how fighters were growing in the midst of their battles and their fights. And again, I think that's one thing that was probably overlooked about Dragon Ball Super. Yes, the animation was not great with the exception of maybe, what, a couple of episodes, if that. Some of you may say the animation was terrible the whole way out. I can understand that. I'm not going to argue you there. But I still think there was quite a bit of philosophy being taught in Dragon Ball Super that I think has gone over people's heads because the quality or maybe the animation wasn't what they wanted. And I understand that, but you don't want to miss those points. So this really leads us into my question. If there's always going to be, quote-unquote, another power level or another level of power, what would happen when Goku and Vegeta finally meet, quote-unquote, their true limits? Okay, because, like, technically speaking, I don't think they should have a limit, but when I say their true limits, that's essentially when the show will probably come to a conclusion because they say, hey, Goku and Vegeta, quote-unquote, can't get any stronger. That could be a temporary hiatus just for someone else to pick the show back up and to expand it. That's usually what happens in these type of things these days, but would it still be about achieving a form of ultimate mastery similar to Ultra Instinct for Goku or Ultra Ego for Vegeta, or would it be about harnessing something even beyond that? And that's hard to think about because the next level we can think about on screen is like Grand Priest, angel-like, right? Or the opposite of that, right? I can't imagine a higher level than that. Omni King just wouldn't make any sense, and we're gonna totally not even go in that universal rabbit hole of conspiracies and theories. Like Goku's ultimate power level, I would think in his mortal form would probably be angel-like. Maris, one of the angels. Same for Vegeta, but again, maybe in a different context. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm curious because they're already close, man. They're already close to like that point of like, okay, the show is gonna have to show us what's that next level, because they're already getting there on the verge of what we know is possible. So anything else is gonna obviously have to be some stuff that's kind of drawn up. But yeah, again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll take it from there. And make sure to subscribe if you guys are new for weekly Dragon Ball discussions such as this. Remember, stay tough, stay strong, stay in the fight. I'm there with you all the way. Hope you have a good one. It's Kaioken Striker signing out. I'll see you later. Goodbye.